Welcome back, guys, to another CAD FAQ. Today we'll be continuing with the end plot styles to ensure that your drawing prints the correct line weights that you've assigned it. So as you can see here is the drawing from the last video. I've completed it with some line weights that I find appropriate. Again, this is up to personal preference, just as long as you do everything correctly and your line weights are according to what you've set them, everything should be fine. So once you've got your drawing and all the line weights are complete, we're going to go down here. And as you can see, I've already created a full drawing, but I'm going to make a new one. So I'm going to click on this little plus sign here, which says new layout. And this isn't really the size that I want to print anything. So what we're going to do then is right click on the tab that you're in, Page Setup Manager, and then click Modify. Now the first thing you want to do is change this option right here, and that is telling it where to plot. Now what I always do is select DWG to PDF.PC3 because that changes it to a PDF, which means that I can put it on a USB stick and print it at any plotter anywhere. And it just makes sure that everything is plotted correctly and allows you to view it afterwards. After you've done that, you can go ahead and change your page size. Now I always use this ISO option, and I either use A1, A2 or A3. Always use the bottom one because of the preference that plotters have and CAD has. It makes your page a portrait page. It just works a bit better apparently. So I'm going to go ahead and select the ISO A2. Note it is the bottom one, which means it'll come out as portrait. When you do that, you'll notice that this number might change. Always make sure that this is a 1. And it might change later on when you've changed your scale of your drawing, but for the beginning, make sure that it's set as 1, otherwise none of your units will be correct when you do scale your drawing. Alright, after that, we're going to go up to the top right here and select a plot style. I usually use this ACAD one because I've already set it up, but I'm going to show you how to set it up if you haven't set it up already, or if you want to set up your own one. Once you've selected it, you can select on this little option right here. Now, that shows you this screen. And the first thing you want to do is select the top color, scroll all the way down to the bottom color, hold in Shift and click. That selects all the colors, as you can see here. What you want to do is make sure that this option right here is then changed to black. This ensures that all these colors that you selected are going to print in black. Now that is crucial because if it's not selected to black, it'll print in grayscale, which means yellow, which is actually a darker line weight than red, will print out much lighter than red, which is what we don't want. So once you've done that, and all your colors are changed to black, you can go change your line weights accordingly. So for example, my color red, color 1, is 0,18 mils, so I change it there in line weights. The rest of these options you can leave out, because you usually change those options in your layer properties as covered in the last video. So just go along and make sure that all the colors that you are using are changed to their appropriate line weights. This will ensure that it does print correctly. An interesting thing is that the color black and the color white are the same line weight or the same color in CAD. Reason for this is that when you're in model space, CAD uses white so that you can see the lines, but when you're in your paper space, the page being white, it uses the color black so that you can see your lines. Okay, so once you've changed all your line weights to the appropriate ones, you can then go hit save and close, and then you can select OK once you're happy with all these settings. Notice how your page size does change if it hasn't been selected to the correct page size already. You can close this window. Now my model viewport is all the way in the bottom here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select it, make sure my ortho is off. I'm going to drag it just beneath this dotted line. This dotted line is very important that you do not go over it, for example like this, because this is the boundary line of where the printer will print. It will not print anything on the outside of that line. For example, right now, as my line is sitting, it won't print these two lines. However, if I move it back to here, it will print these lines. Depending on what printer it is, you might want to give yourself maybe a 1 centimeter border from this line, because some printers don't print all the way to the end of the page. Okay, once you've got your model viewport to the size that you want it, you can go ahead and double click inside it. As you can see, once I've done that, it got a lot thicker. And what I'm going to do then to center my drawing is double click on my mouse wheel. So that just brings it to the absolute center of the page that is selected. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the size to 1:50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go click down here. And if you don't see the size here, then you select here, custom, and you say add, and you name it what it's going to be called. You might as well just name it what it is going to be called, 1:50. Therefore, 1 unit on paper is equal to 50 units in real life. So that is how the scale works. You say okay, it's over there, you say okay, now we can go back here, and there it is. So that's 1:50. As you can see, it's a little bit big, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Now, to make sure that you don't accidentally scroll in or out, because as you see, when I did that, it messed up everything. So change your scale back to 1:50 and then lock your drawing. This means that if you scroll in or out by accident, it doesn't move your drawing at all. However, if you do want to still move your drawing around, in other words, left or right, up or down, unlock it, click with your mouse wheel and pan like you normally would in AutoCAD. So I'm going to move mine slightly more this way because this is more important than that table up there. After that, after I'm happy, I'm going to lock it to make sure that nothing else can move. As you can see, I'm panning, I'm scrolling, nothing happens here. Now, to get out of your model, to make sure that you don't do anything inside here, for example, delete something by accident, you're going to double click in this gray area. As you can see, this became thinner, which means that I'm now in paper space. Another easy way to do that is to check at the bottom here. It says you're in paper space. If you click that, you go back to model space. And if you click model, you go back to paper space. Now we're just going to quickly plot this and make sure that our line weights come out correctly. And remember, I told you it's going to automatically plot it to a PDF. So all you do is you go File and Export as a PDF. And then a window will pop up asking you where you want to save it. I'm just going to save mine to the desktop. I know, messy. And I'm going to call it test 2. All the stuff you don't have to worry about, you can just say save, and there we go. It exports it as a PDF, and this window will come up to make sure that it's done it correctly. Alright, so here I am opening the PDF that we just created, and as you can see, the line weights are all basically there. Now it won't completely show up correctly on a PDF on your computer. That's because your computer can't render the line weights in a PDF, but when you plot it, it should be correct. But this just gives you a rough estimate of what your line weights will come out as when you print it. So there you guys go. I hope that helped you. Stay tuned for the next video.